This week, Trump loses his sexual assault civil suit and then has a bizarre CNN town hall. Congressman George Santos is indicted and arraigned on 13 criminal counts. Spotify removes tens of thousands of AI songs. Elon finally finds a Twitter CEO. Adidas announces it's putting Yeezys back in stores. And RIP MTV News. It's Sunday, May 14th, and this is the AnimetaTV News Web. Donald Trump must pay $5 million in damages for sexually abusing magazine writer E. Jean Carroll in the 1990s, and then defaming her by branding her a liar. A jury decided on Tuesday. The former U.S. president, currently campaigning to retake the White House in 2024, while simultaneously hoping to dodge multiple federal and state criminal and civil court cases in multiple states, will appeal, his lawyers told reporters. Carroll testified during the civil trial that Trump raped her in a Bergdorf Goodman department store dressing room in Manhattan either in 1995 or 1996, then harmed her reputation by writing in an October 2022 post on his True Social platform that her claims were, quote, a complete con job, a hoax, and a lie. The first U.S. president past or president to be criminally charged, Trump has pleaded not guilty and said the charges were politically motivated. After Tuesday's verdict, Trump went on to be featured in the so-called CNN Town Hall Wednesday in New Hampshire that exclusively featured an audience of diehard Trump supporters where the former president lied repeatedly, dissembled, evaded questions, and advanced yet more false claims about the 2020 election, continuing to smear E. Jean Carroll and her claim, and he even found time to insult CNN's Caitlin Collins, the moderator of the event, calling her a, quote, nasty person. In other news, in a press release Wednesday morning, the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Justice Department revealed Congressman George Santos has been formally charged with fraud, money laundering, theft of public funds, and false statements. A 13-count indictment was unsealed Wednesday in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York, charging Santos with 7 counts of wire fraud, 3 counts of money laundering, 1 count of theft of public funds, and 2 counts of making material false witness statements to the House of Representatives. As alleged in the indictment, Santos, who was elected to Congress last November and sworn in as the U.S. Representative for New York's 3rd Congressional District on January 7th, engaged in multiple fraudulent schemes, including fraudulent political contribution solicitation, unemployment insurance fraud, and false statements to the House of Representatives. Santos was arrested Wednesday and arraigned Wednesday afternoon, where he pleaded not guilty before a U.S. magistrate judge.
Now I'm going to have to go and fight to defend myself. The reality is it's a witch hunt.
Yeah, that's a ticket.
Meanwhile, in AI news, Spotify removed tens of thousands of AI-generated songs from its platform on Tuesday. Financial Times reported that Spotify has removed 7% of songs created with AI-generated music service Boomi from its website, equating to, quote, tens of thousands of songs, after Universal Music Group flagged Boomi for allegedly using bots to boost its streaming numbers. Boomi's music was removed due to suspected, quote, artificial streaming, which is the use of bots posed as people to increase streaming and audience numbers of songs. The company helps users release their AI-generated songs and albums on streaming services like Apple Music and Spotify, while taking a cut of the royalty distribution fees. I'll have a more in-depth look at how AI is disrupting the music industry in a featured report later this week. In social media news, Elon Musk said on Thursday he has found a new chief executive for Twitter, but did not name the person. Simply posting, quote, excited to announce that I've hired a new CEO for X Twitter. She'll be starting in 6 weeks. The Wall Street Journal then reported that NBC Universal executive Linda Yaccarino was in talks for the job. Musk will reportedly be stepping down as CEO and pivoting over to the product side. Yaccarino is currently NBC's chair of global advertising and partnerships. In her time at NBC, she's brokered major partnerships, developed their streaming options, and generated more than $100 billion in ad sales, which is a good find for Twitter and Musk, who's alienated advertisers with his laissez-faire approach to content moderation by throwing out the guardrails on what posts would be allowed on the platform, since most advertisers aren't so cool with their ads running next to hate speech and misinformation. In business news, Adidas is selling Yeezys again. This comes after several non-governmental organizations advised the sports apparel maker against incinerating them. Burning is not the solution, Adidas CEO Bjorn Gulden said at the company's annual shareholders meeting. What we're trying to do over time is to sell parts of these goods and then donate to organizations that help us and that have been hurt by Kanye's statements. This move may not do much to offset some of the huge financial hit of the $765 million from the collapse of Adidas' alliance with Kanye West, whose wild anti-Semitic phase last fall that's recently been quelled, according to West himself, by, quote, laughing like Jewish people after watching Jonah Hill and 21 Jump Street, prompted the company to end the partnership with the rapper and pull the wildly popular shoes from stores. Finally, RIP MTV News. Paramount announced Tuesday it will shutter MTV News and slash its workforce by 25%, bringing to an end the iconic music video network's news division that once covered a range of issues from pop culture to politics and became a household name for Generation X and millennial adolescents alike. The shutdown of MTV News comes less than a month after BuzzFeed shuttered its news division and Vice Media canceled its acclaimed Vice News Tonight as part of a broad restructuring that some are saying is a pit stop on the way to bankruptcy court. MTV News' meteoric late 20th century rise began in the 80s when Rolling Stone editor turned TV host Kurt Loder joined the network and launched The Week in Rock, as well as other specials, and featured short news segments not terribly dissimilar from the one you're watching right now. During the 90s, MTV News provided an alternative to traditional cable news that appealed to young Americans. Recently, MTV resurrected the old format with a creepy AI Kurt Loder and an online promo for a 90s set comedy streaming on Showtime Plus. No word on whether they intend to simply keep MTV News going with creepy AI Kurt or not, but this reporter is grateful for the real Kurt Loder, the MTV News team, and their contribution. And that's the news. Hit that subscribe button and let us know what you think about today's stories in the comments.